Hello everyone, welcome to Arka Science, and today in this video I will be talking about the monthly horoscope for the month of April 2023. This month the planetary energies are going to be very significant and important for every one of us. If we talk about the planetary position and transits this month of April 2023, then I will start with the sign of Aries. At this moment of time, on 1st of April, we have Mercury, Venus and Rahu conjunction happening in the sign of Aries. On 31st of March 2023, Mercury has come out of its debilitation sign Pisces and it has entered the sign of Aries and got conjunct with Venus and Rahu. Now, on 6th of April, Venus is going to change the sign. Venus will come out of Aries, it will enter its own sign Taurus. That particular transit is going to be very important and very good transit, I will say, because Taurus is a earthy sign, fixed sign. It has got very realistic, practical, grounded energy. So the transit of Venus into the sign of Taurus is a very welcome transit for every one of us. Wheresoever the sign Taurus lies, it will give us good results. Because Venus happens to be a natural benefic planet, so definitely this transit of Venus into the sign of Taurus 6th April 2023 onwards is going to bring good energies, good results for every one of us. Now in this particular month, if we talk about Mercury is going to play a very vital role along with Rahu in this month of April 2023, because 31st of March 2023, when Mercury entered the sign of Aries, it got conjunct with Rahu. Venus actually, Rahu and Venus, but Venus will change the sign on 6th of April, but basically it is Rahu energy. On 21st of April 2023, Mercury will turn retrograde. Now you see, Rahu basically is a retrograde planet, it has got retrograde energy. From 21st of April onwards, Mercury will turn retrograde in the sign of Aries. So two planets will turn retrograde in the sign of Aries. At this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is conjunct in the sign of Pisces. On 14th of April, Sun will change the sign. Sun will enter the sign of Aries and get exalted. And at that moment, when Sun enters the sign of Aries, it will be in conjunction with Mercury and Rahu. On 21st of April, Mercury turns retrograde, and the day after, on 22nd of April, you will see Jupiter changing the sign. Jupiter will leave its own sign Pisces and it will enter the sign of Aries. So you can understand that by the time 22nd of April comes, 4 planets, Rahu, Sun, Mercury and Jupiter, these 4 planets will be in conjunction with each other, and out of that, Mercury will be retrograde. Rahu is basically a retrograde energy. So a huge energy transformation is going to take place in the sign of Aries. If we talk about Mars, then Mars is continuing to transit in the sign of Gemini. Saturn is transiting in the sign of Aquarius. Rahu is transiting in Aries and Ketu is transiting in Libra. Another thing is that Mercury and Mars will be in Parivartan Yoga. Mercury is transiting in Aries and Mars is transiting in Gemini. So basically it is a Parivartan Yoga. And for this whole of this month, this Parivartan Yoga will have its multiple impact. And all happening with relation to the sign of Aries, you see. Saturn, by its third aspect, will impact the sign of Aries. So you can understand that so many planetary energies are getting into the sign of Aries. So it is a huge energy transformation, I will say, because when we look into the natural zodiac, that is the Kala Purusha Kundali, you will see that Aries becomes the first house. And first house means basically it is I, me and myself. That is what about Aries is about. Okay. So it will impact our own self, our own personality. Another important thing which is going to happen in this particular month of April is that on 20th of April 2023, a solar eclipse is going to happen. And it's a total solar eclipse, I will say. It is going to happen in the Ashwini Nakshatra. That is also in the sign of Aries. On 20th of April, you see the time events. On 20th of April, the solar eclipse is happening in the sign of Aries in Ashwini Nakshatra. Sun, moon will be very closely placed with each other along with Rahu. Okay. On 21st, Mercury turns retrograde. On 22nd, Jupiter enters Aries. So, wheresoever the sign Aries lies in your horoscope, the significance related to that particular house is going to become very vital in this month and in the upcoming months, because it is just like a series of events will start and it will continue. And I will say, since so many planetary energies are getting along together, so we need to be very careful regarding the significance related to the sign Aries, wheresoever it lies, in whichever house it lies in your birth chart or horoscope. Very importantly, I will say you, during this particular time. Like suppose if you have multiple planets in Ashwini Nakshatra in your horoscope, in your birth chart, then this particular month is going to be very vital for you, because it will impact you. And it is just like, as I said, a series of events. Things will start impacting you and it will go on, follow on. Okay. So I will discuss the planetary energies for all the 12 ascendant signs regarding all the planets. Okay. So just look on to your ascendant sign first and then check your moon sign. That will give you an idea that what is actually going to happen in the reality, that is from the ascendant sign, and then check it from your moon sign to understand how it is impacting you mentally, emotionally, on your thought process. Okay. Now suppose if you are new to this channel, I will request every one of you to press the subscribe button, click onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new video you get notified instantly. So anytime if you want a consultation from me, check the links in the description section. You can mail me directly through my email ID, or you can connect with me through my Facebook or Instagram accounts. You will find all the necessary details and the links down in the description section. So now let us start with all the 12 ascendant signs. I will say again, check it from your ascendant sign first, then check it from your moon sign to have a better insight and better clarity. Okay. For the Aries ascendant people, this month of April 2023 is going to be very important and significant for all of you. On 31st of March 2023, Mercury has changed the sign. Mercury has come into the sign of Aries in your first house and got conjunct with Rahu and Venus. Normally, the transit of Mercury in the first house is considered very good because it increases our intellectual abilities. It allows us to help communicate with other people in a more nice manner. This will improve your professional and personal relationships. More essentially, Mercury happens to be your third lord, and Mars, the Lagna lord, is in Parivartan Yoga with Mercury. So definitely it is going to give you more courage, strength to work on your efforts and actions in a more prominent manner. So suppose if you are working on any kind of projects or any work, it will help you out and ultimately it will give you success. Essentially, if I talk about multitasking, then this Mercury and Mars in its Parivartan Yoga will help you out in multitasking. That means working on multiple projects at the same time, because you will have so much energy to work on it. Because normally the transit of Mars in the third house is considered very good because it gives the person that endless energy in any kind of efforts and actions in your day-to-day life. Specifically, when you are dealing with any person in a daily contact, you will feel that you are able to put forward your thoughts in reality, in practical reality is concerned. Okay, so whatever work you are doing, be it your business, be it your job or career, whatever it is, you will feel that yes, you will be able to put forward your thoughts and your actions. Means your thoughts and actions will speak for you in reality. Okay, and here this Mercury will help you out. Suppose if you are associated with any work related to communication, social networking, reading, writing, consultancy, teaching, or suppose if you are a orator, okay, or anything related to reading, writing, it can be mass media, journalism, mass communication, or suppose you are doing any work related to hands, like suppose someone is a sculptor, someone is a painter, architect. Okay, so in all this work you will be getting success all around during this particular Parivartan Yoga. Okay, all this month of April. Now, if I talk about the impact of Rahu, then this Rahu will essentially work on innovation, that innovative intelligence, I will say. Okay, so suppose if you are associated with marketing, finance, or sales, or advertising, in all of that, this particular conjunction of Rahu and Mercury is going to help you. Now, let me talk about the impact of Venus. You see, at this moment of time, Venus is transiting in your first house, but very soon, on 6th of April, Venus is going to change the sign. On 6th of April, Venus is going to enter your second house, that is the sign of Taurus. Now, that is again a very good transit, I will say, because normally the transit of Venus in the second house gives very good results, and it is its own sign, Taurus, so it will give you that grounded reality, it will bring stable energy as far as your family life is concerned. So it is a time of good moments with your family members. Your interaction with your family members will be much more better. You will be able to take proper decisions regarding your finances or regarding your investment plans. Okay, so it is a good time, I will say. Means your food eating habits will be improved, so ultimately it will improve your health also. Okay, now Venus happens to be your seventh lord, so this is also a time when your interaction between you and your partner and your family members all will be in a better mood. Okay, so it will be ultimately a good transit for you. On 14th of April, Sun is transiting and coming onto your first house. So again, it is a good transit, I will say, because Sun will be exalted in your first house. Normally, the transit of Sun in the first house, that also in an exalted Sun, normally increases our confidence. It gives the proper decision-making abilities, okay, inside a person. But at this point of time, Sun and Jupiter is conjunct together in the 12th house at this moment of time, and I will say during this particular time you might be worried regarding your children or regarding the education of your children. So suppose if you are planning for education abroad, then this is a good time when you will be able to take decisions regarding that. Okay, and on 14th of April, Sun will be transiting into your first house. So during that particular time, due to the influence of Rahu, this will also boost your ego. So you have to be very careful regarding your decision making, because out of your impulsion, out of your ego, you may take certain decisions which later on you may feel that you shouldn't have taken, because see, Sun stays in a sign for 1 month. After a month, what will happen? Sun will leave the sign of Aries and it will enter the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is a very grounded sign, very earthy sign, very fixed sign. Okay, so that time the fixed reality will come in front of you. That time you may feel that maybe a month ago when I decided about something, or that led to some kind of problem. So you should be very careful. Why I say it? Because on 21st of April, Mercury will turn retrograde in your first house itself. Now, Mercury transit in the first house is considered good, but here Mercury will be turning retrograde. Now, Mercury happens to be your sixth lord also, so that means you need to be careful regarding your health. On certain matters, you may feel that you are getting challenges from your opponents, or certain matters are coming in front of you where you are getting a tough competition. So you need to be very careful regarding your health and your competition also during that particular time. And means this I'm talking about after 21st of April, because when Mercury will be retrograde. Then on 22nd of April, Jupiter will make the transit. Now this transit is going to be very vital transit because two things. First thing is that Jupiter is coming out of its own sign Pisces, okay, which is your 12th house, and it is entering your first house. This is the second thing, and it is getting conjunct with Rahu. Okay, so when Jupiter enters your first house, that time you will be having four planets on your first house. That means four planets all together will impact your thinking process, your thought process, your personality, your health. Okay, so during that particular time, I will say that it is very essential that you need to be very careful regarding your decision making, regarding your self discipline and punctuality. Although the transit of Jupiter in the first house is considered very good because it implies fortune, luck, and prosperity. No doubt about that. That is no doubt. But yes, definitely during this particular time, Jupiter will be in a very close vicinity to Sun. Jupiter will be combust. Okay, and essentially it will be in conjunction with Rahu. So yes, Jupiter will be afflicted, and Saturn is also aspecting the sign of Aries, your first house. So yes, definitely Jupiter will be afflicted. So I will also say during this particular time you need to be very careful that how you are dealing with your elders of your family, specifically how you are communicating with your father, how you are communicating with your guru. Okay, because on certain matters you may act differently. You may feel that the things which have been the traditional things which have been laid down by your elders or your father or guru, you may act differently to that. Okay, that can lead to some kind of clashes between you and your elders of your family. Okay, so that particular thing you need to be careful. Yes, one thing I can say that Jupiter is your ninth lord. So ninth lord coming into the first house, getting conjunct with Rahu, and where Sun is also there. So this also implies someone who wants to pursue education in some foreign place. So that is also a possibility that you may get chance to pursue some education or have some long distance travel related to education in some far away place. Okay, so that is also a possibility. If I talk about Saturn, now you see Saturn is transiting in your 11th house. Now 11th house transit of Saturn is normally considered very good because what happens, it brings a stability, a steadiness in your growth. It fulfills your all your dreams, all your wishes in a stable way. Okay, so because normally that is what Saturn is, regularity. Okay, so it implies a firm growth of your work or your career or your profession, whatever what you are doing in your business. Also you will see that the growth is there. So this is a good transit, I will say. And ultimately what is happening in your first house, Saturn is aspecting it. So in one way Saturn is also restricting it, because if suppose anything could have been much more wrong, Saturn is trying to restrict it. So it is a blessing in disguise, basically, I will say that. So that's it for the Aries ascendant people. Make the most out of it. For the Taurus ascendant people, at the beginning of this month, on 6th of April, there is a transit of Venus which is going to happen into the sign of Taurus. Now, at this moment of time, Venus is in transit along with Rahu and Mercury in your 12th house, but very soon on 6th of April, Venus will leave the 12th house and it will come onto your first house in the sign of Taurus. Now, this particular transit of Venus is a very good transit, I will say, because Taurus is a fixed and earthy sign. It is a zodiac sign which deals with stability. So, this Venus will bring love, luxury, comforts, and stability in your life. It will bring that practical reality into some happy mood in your life. Okay, so it will also improve your relationships at the professional and personal level. Okay, not only that, it will also be good for your health, for your personality, for your good stable decision making. So ultimately it is going to give you very good life for this particular transit of Venus is concerned. Okay, since Venus is also at 6 slots, so definitely it is going to give you good results wheresoever competition is there. So you will get success in your competitive arena. Okay, so it will give you that success over there, and it will also make you very competitive in spirit. Okay, so this Venus transit, I will say, it is a very good one. On 31st of March, there one more transit happened. That is the transit of Mercury, basically, which happened onto your 12th house, and it got conjunct with Rahu. Okay, at this moment of time, Venus is transiting in the 12th house, but on 6th of April, it will change the sign. But initially, I will say that Venus, Mercury, and Rahu till 6th of April, this combination is going to there. And if I talk about more specifically with Mercury, regarding Mercury, is that Mars and Mercury are in Parivartan Yoga. Okay, now Mars is transiting in your second house, Mercury is transiting in your 12th house. Now, this is basically a Parivartan Yoga between the 12th house and the second house. So, the essential part here, which becomes more important, is that you need to be very careful regarding your finances, and I really mean it. Okay, because this Mercury transit is going to be a bit longer one. Okay, so Mercury happens to be your second and fifth lord. So this particular transit of Mercury and getting the Parivartan Yoga with Mars, so you need to be very careful regarding your health, regarding your near and dear ones, their health, and how you are connecting with them. Okay, because some expenditures, some wrong financial decisions can be there, which can be out of impulsion. So you need to be very careful regarding that. Okay, means out of your impulsions, don't take any decisions regarding your finances, regarding your family matters. Specifically, suppose if you are thinking to purchase anything for your family members or something, or means all of a sudden out of impulsion, don't do that. Okay, means uh, make sure that your decisions are backed by intelligence and wisdom. That is the most important thing. Now, fifth house is also the house of speculation and everything. Okay, so Mercury is transiting in the 12th house, so that is also in the presence of Rahu, and Saturn is aspecting the 12th house. So this is a time when don't make any measured investment plans, or don't make any plans related to speculation or speculative business. Okay, that is the thing I will say you here. Now, if I talk about only Mercury Rahu and its lordship and its transit in the 12th house, then I will say, suppose if you are connected with any work related to hospitals or multinational companies, or suppose you are working in any kind of business where you are dealing with foreign clients, or suppose any kind of business where export and import of items are associated, in that particular case also, this particular transit of Mercury and its conjunction with Rahu is going to give you gains. Okay, in that particular case there can be monetary gains, or you may get success over there. Okay, now at this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is transiting in your 11th house. Now that is a good transit, I will say, because Sun and Jupiter normally transiting in the 11th house, it gives success, it gives recognition, it gives like I will say, um, any work you do, you are going to get name, fame, and recognition for your work, for your means it is a like good results of your hard work. Okay, but on 14th of April, Sun is going to change the sign. Sun is coming onto your 12th house, getting exalted. But Sun is a fiery planet coming into your 12th house, okay, and in the presence of Rahu and Mercury. So, what will happen? It may try to make you a bit more restless, because there can be some anxiety related to how you are dealing with your family members, or regarding your home also some anxiety can be there, some restlessness can be there. Okay, so I will say that there is a chance of miscommunications between you and your near and dear ones, so you need to be very careful regarding that time. Sun happens to be your fourth lord, so you need to be also be very careful regarding your domestic matters, and also regarding the health of your mother. Okay, you need to be careful regarding that. And why I say more essentially, because on 21st of April, Mercury is turning retrograde in your 12th house. See, so many planetary influence happening in the 12th house. And on 22nd of April, just a day after, means on 21st Mercury is retrograde, on 22nd of April Jupiter is changing the sign. Jupiter is leaving the 11th house and it is coming onto your 12th house. Okay, so four planetary energies, 22nd of April onwards: Mercury, Jupiter, Sun, and Rahu. And out of that, Rahu, see, Rahu is basically a retrograde planet. Okay, it is always retrograde. Mercury will turn retrograde. So, two retrograde energies along with Jupiter and Sun transiting in the 12th house, and Jupiter happens to be your 8th lord. So, here I will say that essentially you need to be very careful regarding your own health also, and regarding the health of your mother and your near and dear ones. and don't make any expenditures or any kind of financial decisions all of a sudden during this particular time, I will say, because that can lead to problems. Okay. Yes, due to this transit of Jupiter happening in the 12th house. Now, Jupiter happens to be your 11th lord. So, suppose if you are thinking to start any business or to start any work associated with some foreign places or far away places, okay, then this Jupiter is going to give you some sudden gains, okay, some sudden profit, specifically if you are starting any work with some foreign places or some abroad, okay, or suppose if you are thinking to start any education abroad or far away places, like suppose some student is thinking of pursuing education in some far away places, then this transit is going to give benefit, okay, or going to give good results to them, because ultimately you will see that Saturn is aspecting the 12th house. Now Saturn happens to be your ninth lord also. So Saturn is aspecting the 12th house, and that is actually like a blessing in disguise. Okay, it is actually also improving the energies. So if you are thinking of education in some faraway places, this is going to give you much more better results. Now suppose if you are thinking of any kind of work, then during this particular time I can also see that some work related travels to some faraway places can be possible. All of a sudden you may get a transfer, you may get to go to some faraway places regarding to your work. Now that can be a possibility during this particular time. And if I talk about specifically with regards to Saturn, then this transit of Saturn happening in your 10th house is a very welcome transit, I will say, because it will bring a steady growth in your work. It will give new opportunities with time. Yes, definitely Saturn brings regularity, steadiness, and that is what is required. Okay. This Saturn is asking you to bring a work life balance, because Saturn will be aspecting your fourth house and seventh house. Okay, so fourth house is basically the domestic life, seventh house is basically the marital life, means your relationships. Now that can be professional or personal. So you need to have a proper work life balance. That is what the Saturn is actually implying. Okay, so that's it for the Taurus ascendant people. Make the most out of it. For the Gemini ascendant people, this month of April 2023 is going to be very important for all of you. At the beginning of this month, on 31st of March 2023, Mercury has changed the sign. Mercury is your Lagna Lord, your ascendant Lord. It has come out of its debilitation sign in your 10th house, and now it has entered your 11th house and got conjunct with Rahu and Venus. This Mercury is also is in Parivartan Yoga with Mars. Now Mars is at present transiting in your first house in the sign of Gemini. Mars happens to be your 11th house lord. Okay, so basically this Parivartan Yoga is between the 11th lord and the first lord. So this is actually an indicator that all your hard work is going to be get paid. You are going to get good results of your hard work. All your desires will be fulfilled during this Parivartan Yoga. It will not only be allowing you to work more hard, but also get good results out of it. It will improve your communication skill, it will improve your social networking skills. In fact, your social communication will improve day by day during this particular month of April. Suppose if you are working in a team, you are working along with many people in a same project, you will see success every day around. More specifically, since the presence of Rahu is also there in the 11th house, normally Rahu does exceptionally well in the 11th house in transit or in the birth chart also. Now this presence of this Mercury over here and getting this Parivartan Yoga, it is just like acting as a very good planetary energies in your hard work. You will see that you will be also gaining a lot of energy, making quick decisions, working on multiple aspects of work. So it is also making you a multi-dimensional player. Suppose you are thinking to work on multiple projects, so it will improve your multitasking abilities. If you are associated with anything related to communication, social media, social networking, reading, writing, mass media, journalism, or anything where speaking and writing is associated. You can be a consultant, you can be a teacher, you can be anything related to education. Since the Rahu element is also there, so it will also help you out in marketing, sales, finance, advertising agencies. It is ultimately going to give you very much good results. It will improve your skills. You will see that this is not only helping you out in dealing with people, but also you will be able to pursue your thoughts in your work. So this will also bring multiple opportunities in your life. More essentially, at this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is transiting in your 10th house, so definitely it is giving you success at your professional level. Your hard work is being recognized at the professional level. And on 14th of April, Sun is changing the sign. Sun is transiting in your 11th house. So you see, as the days goes by in the month of April, you will see so many planetary energies are getting concentrated in your 11th house. So that time after 14th of April, it will be Sun, Mercury, and Rahu in your 11th house. Sun happens to be your third lord. Third house is basically hard work, actions, communication. So that means it also says that with your hard work your communication skill will be improved, and if you are associated with regarding any work where speaking, learning, reading, writing is associated, so you are going to get good results over there. You are going to get recognition, name, fame, and good status, I will say. Okay, now on 21st of April 2023, Mercury is turning retrograde. Now, Mercury happens to be your first lord and fourth lord, and Mercury is turning retrograde in the 11th house. So, I will say you that during that particular time, you need to be a bit careful regarding your decision makings, regarding any official work or anything related to your home and domestic matters. You need to be a bit more careful regarding your decision making, I will say. Okay, on 22nd of April, Jupiter is changing the sign. Now that is again a big transit. Jupiter is coming onto your 11th house, again 11th house. Okay, so that time it will be Jupiter, Mercury, Rahu, and Sun. Now, since Jupiter happens to be your 10th lord and 7th lord, so all of a sudden you may get some good opportunities at your work life. Yes, initially some delays can be there. Initially some problems can come in front of you because that Rahu element and Jupiter will be combusted. Okay, and it will be under the aspect of Saturn. Okay, so definitely initially some disturbances can be there, but ultimately I can see that this planetary combination which is happening in the 11th house, it is ultimately going to give you much more better results. It will not only improve your professional life, be it job or business or whatever it is, it will also bring you good opportunity to communicate with multiple people. So this is also a time when you may get connected with in some kind of love and romantic relationship, because these planets will be impacting your fifth house, just opposite to the 11th house. Okay, you may get connected with some person in a good manner, in a love and romance type of bonding. Okay, it will also improve your relationship with your partner, because Jupiter happens to be your seventh lord. From the 11th house it will impact your seventh house. So it will improve the communication and relationship between your partner. Okay, now if I talk about Mars, at present Mars is transiting in your first house. So initially I will say that this Mars will give you the energy, it will give you the confidence to take nice and quick decisions. It will give you that energy to work on multiple aspect of your life. But Mars will aspect the seventh house also, your seventh house. So I will say that you need to be very careful regarding how you are dealing with your partner at this moment of time. Okay, because at times it may make you feel a bit more towards your own self, okay, because this is a very good time for self development. But again, at the same time, Mars, since it is a very fiery planet, okay, and Mars does not like negotiations, okay, so that can lead to some kind of clashes or difference of opinions between you and your partner. Now that can be at the professional or the personal level, okay, so you need to be um, careful regarding that. If I talk about Venus, now Venus happens to be your 12th lord and your 5th lord. At this moment of time, Venus is transiting in a 11th house, but on 6th of April 2023, Venus is changing the sign. It is coming out of your 11th house and it is going to enter its own sign Taurus in the 12th house. Now that is a good transit, I will say, because your 12th lord coming into the 12th house. So first of all, what will happen, it will have a it will bring a stability in your expenditures, okay, means it will try to give you a proper insight that where you should spend your money and where you should not spend your money, because it will bring a stability over there. It will improve your I will say, it will try to improve um, your investments, basically I will say savings, I will say. It will basically try to stop the losses, because it is your 12th lord itself, so it will try to hold it upon. And since it is your 5th lord also, so this is also your particular time when, suppose if you are thinking to pursue some education or any kind of skill set or knowledge in some far away place, and you are thinking that let me travel to one place to another in order to learn new things, then this particular Venus is going to give you much more better results. So it will improve your financial decisions. It will try to bring a realistic, stable approach towards your expenditures, which is actually a good thing for you. It will try to, because it will impact your decision making regarding your wealth, which is actually a good thing, okay. And secondly, this is also a good time for learning new things, improving your skill sets, your intelligence, in isolation or in some faraway place, okay, pursuing new education and everything. Saturn is transiting in your ninth house, which is a good transit, I will say, because this Saturn is more about philosophy, knowledge, higher spiritual knowledge. So this is the time when you may also get into some pilgrimage or visit some religious places. um, Very good time to connect with your elders, with your guru, and have a proper bonding with your father, elders of your family, and learn new things from them. It's a very good transit, I will say. And Saturn's aspect on the 11th house is also very good, I will say, because this Saturn is your ninth lord and your eighth lord also. So that means all of a sudden it may bring gains in your life with hard work. You do the hard work, and all of a sudden it will bring gains in your life, prosperity and fortune, okay. So by that way, this month of April is going to be good for you, for all the Gemini ascendant people. For the Cancer ascendant people, at the beginning of this particular month, on 31st of March, Mercury has made the transit. It has come out of your ninth house. It is now out of its debilitation sign, and it has entered your 10th house, and it has got conjunct with Rahu and Venus. So normally the transit of Mercury in the 10th house is considered very good, because it improves the intellectual abilities at the work level, at the professional level, be it business, be it job, okay. It also improves the communication between you and your superiors and your authorities. So suppose if you are preparing for any kind of opportunity or job related things, this is a time when you may get opportunity to get connected with various companies or various job arenas, okay. This is a good time, I will say. Secondly, this Mercury will be in conjunction with Rahu. So this also implies that, suppose if you are associated with any kind of job related to sales, marketing, advertising, or financial institutions, In that case, this Mercury and Rahu conjunction can give you much more better results. It will improve your work related innovative intelligence, your creativity, but also at the same time you will be able to work on multitasking, on multi-dimensional things. Like suppose you will be able to put forward your energy in multiple things, okay, on many projects at the same time. So it is actually going to give you much more better results. Mercury will be aspecting your fourth house, so it will also increase your bonding with your family members, with your near and dear ones, and specifically your domestic happiness is concerned. Mercury happens to be your third lord. That means again the communication factor is coming into the fact. Third house. Okay. So anything related to communication, reading, writing, or it can be journalism, it can be mass media, okay, mass communication, reading, writing, teaching, or anything where speaking is essential, where reading is essential, writing is essential. Okay, in any kind of that particular work, you are going to get good results. Mercury and Mars will be in Parivartan Yoga. Now, see, Mars happens to be your fifth lord and 10th lord, transiting in the 12th house. And Mercury is your 12th lord, transiting in the 10th house. Okay, so basically, this is a Parivartan Yoga between the 12th house and the 10th house. So, during this particular time, you may get multiple opportunity of work or job or business opportunity with some far away places. So there can be multiple travels to some foreign places or far away places with regards to your job or your business, and you will get opportunities. So you have to utilize and capitalize these opportunities. You will get multiple opportunities with regards to your job, and this is more getting more prominence because on 14th of April Sun will come onto your 10th house. Now Sun happens to be your second lord. So suppose if you are associated with any kind of genre of work related to finance, sales, marketing, banking, trading, in all of that you are going to get much more better results. At this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is transiting in your ninth house, which is, I will say, a good transit. It normally helps you to bring a stability in your finances, and also regarding your fortune and luck is concerned. It will give you good results if you can pursue some pilgrimage and make some donations at the religious places at this moment of time. And after 14th of April, Sun will make the transit into your 10th house. And two more essential things. On 21st of April, Mercury will turn retrograde in your 10th house. So during that particular time, you need to be very careful regarding, suppose if you are associated with any kind of work, or you are thinking to apply for some new kind of work, or suppose you are working somewhere, so you need to be very careful regarding that particular time, regarding your documentation, regarding any kind of work related files or folders, okay, any kind of text documents you are working upon, you need to be very careful regarding that time. On 22nd of April, one more major transit is going to happen. That is the transit of Jupiter, which is happening in your 10th house. Jupiter is leaving its own sign Pisces, that is the ninth house, and it is coming into the 10th house. Okay, so that time, four planets or four planetary energies will be active in your 10th house. That is Rahu, Mercury, Sun, and Jupiter. Okay, so that time it will also give a more major energies with respect to your job, your business, because normally the transit of Jupiter in the 10th house is a good transit. It is considered to be a good transit. It improves our work ethics, it improves the opportunities at the work level. We get more success with related to our hard work is concerned. But now here you see Jupiter happens to be your ninth lord, and it is coming into your 10th house and getting conjunct with Rahu, and during this particular time Jupiter will be combusted because its close vicinity with Sun in the longitudinal degree wise. Okay, so during that particular time I will say that innovative energies will come within you, but you need to be also very careful that don't put your belief system too much on others, specifically at your work level, at your work arena, because that can lead you to some problem. Because Jupiter happens to be your ninth lord, so it rules over your belief system, it rules over your higher spiritual knowledge, so it basically rules over your ethics. So if you are stressing over more on your belief system on others at your work arena, that can lead to some problem, because this Rahu will bring upon some kind of innovative energy. So at times it can be like contradiction to your own knowledge. Certain events will happen which will contradict your own belief system, and that can lead you to some kind of confusion, illusion. Okay, so trust the process, first analyze the things, and then come into a judgment. Now, for the Cancer ascendant people, one thing I will here add is that you have Mars in your 12th house at this moment of time, and Saturn is transiting at this moment of time in your 8th house. So, during this particular time, certain things can make you feel restless, or there can be some kind of anxiety or even frustration in certain matters of your life, because you may feel that things are getting here and there, and it is unable to get controlled because of the presence of your 8th lord Saturn in the 8th house. Now, although Saturn tries to limit and restrict the things, but still it is being the 8th lord transiting in the 8th house for the Cancer ascendant people. So I will say one thing that which is very important, that you need to take care regarding your health. In case of any prevalent health condition, you should be very careful regarding that. You should not ignore it. Okay, more you are being more self disciplined, more punctual, and more committed towards your own self development, then more better results are going to come in the upcoming days. So that's what I will say, because you see Mars at this moment of time, it is transiting in your 12th house, but in the month of May it will change the sign, it will come onto your first house. From the 12th house it will come into your first house, and in the month of May it will turn debilitated. So that time it will again aspect your 8th house where Saturn is transiting. Okay, so what I can see that uh, you need to be very careful regarding your health during this particular time. One more thing I will say regarding the transit of Venus. Venus is changing the sign on 6th of April. It is coming into 11th house, which is actually a good transit. This also implies that you may get some sudden opportunities regarding your work or regarding your business. Means this also implies that your hard work is going to get paid. You will get good results of your hard work, and it will be like Taurus is your 11th sign. Taurus is a very stable sign, very fixed sign. So it is just like a fixed reality, a stability. So I will say that suppose if you get good opportunity, that opportunity will stay with you. Okay, so it is going to give you very much good results. So make the most out of it and take care regarding your health. That is what I will say for the Cancer ascendant people for the month of April. Make the most out of it. For the Leo ascendant people, Mercury is transiting in your ninth house. It has come out of your 8th house, and it is now transiting in your ninth house and getting conjunct with Venus and Rahu. Mercury is your second lord and 11th lord. So basically, Mercury rules your wealth, your incoming of wealth, your fulfillment of desires, your gains and profits in your life. And it is transiting in the ninth house. So basically, it is creating multiple wealth generating yogas, that is the Dhan yogas. So this also indicates, suppose if you are working on some kind of business or any kind of job, or if you're thinking to apply for a new kind of work opportunity, then this also indicates success, because this will bring stability in your wealth, in your finances. Incoming of wealth is indicated, because ninth house is basically the house of bhagya, fortune, divinity, and 11th lord Mercury transiting in the ninth house. So that means you are going to get success or good results of your hard work. So this particular month, this is going to be a very important month for you. More essentially, Your ninth lord Mars is transiting in the 11th house. So it is creating a Parivartan Yoga between Mars and Mercury, that is the ninth lord and the 11th lord. So this is becoming more powerful Dhan Yoga. So suppose if you are doing any business or you are working somewhere, this also indicates sudden promotion or success or getting or achieving some higher ranks or higher posts. Or suppose if you are planning for some kind of interviews or some kind of job opportunities, then this also indicates some kind of success. Now, if I talk about specifically regarding this Mercury and ninth house, then I will say this can also indicate some travels, long distance travels, some religious travels. You may go to some pilgrimage. You may all of a sudden get connected with some other communities because of the influence of Rahu. And Mercury will be directly impacting your third house. It will be aspecting your third house. So, suppose if you are associated with any kind of work related to communication, finance, banking, trading, sales, or advertising, in that particular case also this Mercury is going to give you much more better results. Or suppose more specifically, if you are associated with anything related to tours and travels, telecommunication sector or communication sector, or suppose if you are associated with any kind of work related to long distance travels, now that can be mode of communication, mode of transport. In that particular case also this Mercury is going to give you much more better results. More essentially, I will say that on 14th of April, Sun is coming out of your 8th house. Now that is a good transit, I will say, because at this moment of time, Sun is transiting along with Jupiter in the 8th house. Sun will come out of your 8th house from 14th of April. That is actually like rise of sunrise. Actually, it is a type of sunrise for you, because 8th house is basically the dark hole, and 9th house is divinity, optimism, light. So Sun will come out of your 8th house on 14th of April and enter the 9th house, and Sun is your Lagna Lord. This also indicates that whatever work you are thinking to do after 14th of April, you may get starting to get success or good results regarding that. On 21st of April, Mercury will turn retrograde. So during that particular time, I will say that you need to be very careful regarding your finances, specifically regarding your expenditures. How you are communicating with your family members has to be taken very carefully. And suppose if you are working in a team or in a group, communication between each other has to be given specific importance, and what you are saying, how you are interacting regarding your belief system, regarding your spiritual knowledge has to be taken care of, because Mercury will be impacting your third house of social communication. So suppose if you are posting something in the social media during that particular time, specifically after 21st of April, you need to be very careful regarding that. Okay. On 22nd of April 2023, another important major transit is going to happen. That is, Jupiter is coming out of its own sign Pisces from your 8th house, and it is going to enter your 9th house. So you can see that Rahu, Mercury, Sun, and Jupiter, these four planets will be transiting in your 9th house. Now, this is going to be very important transit. Now that will be 22nd of April onwards. So although the transit of Jupiter through the 9th house is a very good transit, I will say, because if I talk about only Jupiter and the 9th house, it is a very good transit, because it implies fortune, luck, prosperity, divinity. Okay. It also implies long distance travels, higher education, pilgrimage, following up dharma, religious rituals and customs. Okay. So in this way, this is going to give you good results. But you see, Jupiter will be combusted, and it will be in conjunction with Rahu under the aspect of Saturn. So you see, Jupiter will be afflicted. So during this particular time, you need to have a proper lookout of your ethics, your righteousness and dharma, because at times there can be some conflict or some contradiction within your own belief system. some differences within your own mind because of that influence of Rahu. This can lead you to challenge your own ethics, your own belief system at certain moment of time. Okay, so I will say you that during this particular time, if this kind of essence come within you, then I will say you that try to sort it out with your proper intelligence and wisdom. Your decision making should be backed by your wisdom, because Rahu is this type of illusion which likes shortcuts, which likes to get the results without getting into that proper hard work. Basically, it is a type of energy which can do anything or get into any method in order to get your desire done or fulfill your desires. Okay, so here by that way it afflicts the Jupiter. So I will say you that you have to maintain proper ethics, proper respect towards your elders, towards your father, towards your guru during this particular time. On the beneficial part, or in the benefit part, I will say that this influence of Jupiter uh, on Rahu, on Mercury and Sun, this also implies that this will give you success at the professional level, at the personal level, at your work level. This will give you good results, because Jupiter will be impacting your first house. It will impact your personality. It will give you a very wise personality. Only the thing is that element of Rahu, which may distract you from your path, from your way. It may lead you to some wrong path. Okay, at some times, but it will start the impact from 22nd of April onwards. So from that time, you need to be a bit more careful. Now, if I talk about Venus, then I will say that Venus is at present transiting in the sign of Aries in your 9th house, but on 6th of April, Venus will change the sign. It will come on to your 10th house. Now, transit of Venus in the 10th house is normally considered very good, because here your 10th house is ruled by Venus itself. So, this also indicates professional success, be it your business, be it your work life, any kind of career you are in. Venus will be impacting your 4th house, so that is also good for your family and domestic happiness. It will also improve your domestic life. So the transit of Venus is all beneficial for you. You have to be very careful regarding your health, because Saturn is transiting in your 7th house. Saturn happens to be your 6th lord and 7th lord both. Saturn will be impacting your 9th house. It will look onto your 4th house and 1st house. So definitely during this particular time, you need to be very careful regarding your health. And since Saturn is your 7th lord transiting in the 7th house, so it will bring a stability, improve your relationship and partnership in the personal and professional level. Okay, so by that way, this particular month of April is going to the planetary transits or energies are going to impact you. So make the most out of it. Okay, so that's it for the Leo ascendant people. For the Virgo ascendant people, your Lagna Lord Mercury has come out of its sign of debilitation, that is the sign of Pisces, from your 7th house on 31st of March, and now it has entered the 8th house. Now, Lagna Lord transiting through the 8th house, and here Mercury will be in conjunction with Rahu and Venus at this moment of time under the aspect of Saturn. Saturn is aspecting Mercury or the 8th house from the 6th house, basically. Okay, so I will say here that Mercury will be afflicted. Okay, although Saturn is also the 5th lord, but since it is also the 6th lord and it is aspecting the 8th house, so yes, I will say Mercury will be afflicted. Your Lagna lord Mercury will be afflicted. So during this particular time, I will say that you need to be very careful regarding your health, regarding your decision makings. Okay, and Mercury happens to be your 10th lord also. So during this particular time, there can be some issues at your work life, be it your job, be it your business. Okay, certain matters all of a sudden may come in front of you which you may not expect, or the things may seem to be go out of bound or uncontrollable at certain times. So you may be at times unhappy regarding the progress of your work at your work level. So there can be some significant sense of dissatisfaction with your work and your work life. Okay, so this can lead to change of job, or you may feel to bring some kind of changes in your work life. Okay. So two important things regarding the profession and regarding the health. These are the two things you need to be very careful. Specifically, Mercury rules over our skin. Mercury rules over our nervous system, basically. Okay. Speech, our communication skills. Okay. So you need to be very careful regarding these health issues. Okay. So you need to be very careful. And another thing is that Venus will leave the 8th house. Venus will come out of your 8th house on 6th of April. Now, Venus, since it is a natural benefic planet, and for Virgo ascendant, Venus is a very good planet. Okay, so presence of Venus in the 8th house would have been good for Mercury, but Venus will come out of the 8th house from 6th of April. It will go to the 9th house. So that also implies that you need to be very careful regarding your health and your decision makings, because Mercury is the Lagna Lord. Now, if I talk about only Venus, then Venus's transit to the 9th house is a very good transit. On 6th of April, it is going to enter the sign of Taurus, which happens to be your 9th house. So this is going to give you the sense of luck, fortune, and prosperity. It will bring stability in your work. It will bring stability in your life. So this also indicates that although there will be multiple planets in your 8th house, which is the house of suddenness, unpredictability, sudden events, but the transit of Venus, which is happening in your 9th house in the sign of Taurus, it will try to balance the things to certain extents. Okay, more essentially, Venus will be will not under the impact of the aspect of Saturn, because in the 8th house it was also under the aspect of Saturn. So now it is coming out of it. So I will say that this transit of Venus is going to give you much more better results, because this will bring you stability regarding your finances. This will bring you stability regarding your belief system. So ultimately, it will remove that unnecessary anxiety and depression. Okay, it will give you that positive mindset, optimism, apart from so many problems, because 8th house is basically the house of problems. Okay, so apart from so many problems, you will also get solutions to your work. You will get solutions in your day-to-day life because of this transit of Venus in this month of April, I am saying. Okay. Now, this can also lead to religious travels. This can also lead to higher education. Suppose you are planning to have some higher education and long distance travels, this is a very good time. This is also a very good time to getting attached with your family, because Venus is your second lord also. If you are having some family time, then that is also going to give you happiness and ultimately prosperity and a happy mood for you, basically, I will say. Okay, so it is a very good time. The transit of Venus is going to be a very good one for you. You have to capitalize on that. Venus will be aspecting your third house. So suppose if you are working on any kind of hobby or any kind of work of creativity or creative talent, then this Venus is going to give you much more better results. Okay, you will be able to utilize the complete energy of Venus in that particular case. At this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is transiting in your 7th house. Now, transit of Sun in the 7th house sometimes creates a bit anxiety and problems in the relationship. Okay, it brings the ego problem, basically. Okay, but Sun will come out of your 7th house. Okay, on 14th of April, and it will enter your 8th house. Now, Sun transit in the 8th house is normally considered not that great. Okay, because Sun is the significator of the soul. It is the Naisargik Atmakarak. It is the universal significator of the soul. Okay, natural significator of the soul, basically. So, transiting in the 8th house is normally not considered that great, and it will be under the influence of Rahu, under the aspect of Saturn. So during this particular time, you need to be very careful regarding your actions, regarding your self discipline and punctuality, with regards to your own health, with regards to your career, job, and profession. This is very essential, I will say, during this particular time. And you need to be also very careful regarding your health issues, because Sun is a very fiery planet transiting through the 8th house. So this can also lead to some heat related disease. Now, Mercury relates to skin, sun relates to heat. Okay, so some skin rashes or skin problems can be there during this particular time. Some digestive issues can be there. You need to be very careful regarding that also. Okay, now on 21st of April, Mercury is turning retrograde. Now that is very essential. Mercury is your Lagna Lord, Mercury is your 10th Lord. So Mercury is turning retrograde. So during that particular time, you may have to retrospect or introspect regarding your own decisions, regarding your personal life, your health, your decisions, your work like opportunities and everything, because there will be a sense of illusion and sense of darkness within your mind. Some unclear thoughts will be there because of the presence of Rahu in the 8th house. Certain things can be coming in your mind and you may feel that I'm not getting solution for that. And this retrogression of Mercury, initially it may bring a bit more anxiety within you, sense of nervousness, but this retrogression of Mercury, as the time goes by, it will help you out, it will allow you to find the solutions. Okay, so initially the problems can be there, but as the time goes by, you will find that yes, you are getting the solutions. Now on 22nd of April, one more major transit is going to happen, that is the transit of Jupiter. Jupiter is coming out of your 7th house and it is going to enter your 8th house. Now 7th Lord Jupiter is transiting in the 8th house, so this is a time when you need to be a bit careful regarding your partnership, that is professional or the personal partnership. Okay, because 8th house is basically ups and downs. Okay, so you need to be very careful regarding that, and Jupiter is also your 4th lord, so certain matters related to your domestic happiness or domestic peace, you need to be very careful regarding that. Because why I'm saying all this, because Jupiter will be afflicted. You see, Jupiter will be combusted. First of all, it will be under the influence of Rahu and under the aspect of Saturn. So certain matters related to your home and domestic happiness may come in front of you, where that can lead to some kind of anxiety and which you will be asked to solve. Okay, so initially you may feel that I'm not getting the solution, but with time you will get the solution, but initially the problems may be there. So you need to be very careful regarding that. And basically 8th house is 12th from the 9th house. If 9th house is dharma, then 8th house is basically 12th, the loss of dharma. So this is a very important time that you should follow righteousness and dharma, lawfulness, truthfulness, justice in your behavior, in your act, in your efforts, in your actions. That will give you much more better results with time. Initially you may feel that I'm not getting the good results out of it, but with time you will get the good results. Okay, Mars is transiting in your 10th house. Okay, now Mars and Mercury is creating the Parivartan Yoga. Now this particular transit of Mars and Mercury and this Parivartan Yoga, this also indicates that certain rifts can be there, certain problems may all of a sudden arise at your work life. Okay, or you may feel disinterest in your particular work which you are doing. Okay, so you have to give proper work on proper wisdom and intelligence, then only take any decision. All of a sudden don't take any decision that later on you may feel that I took some wrong decisions, because you see Mercury will be retrograde and that time you may feel that maybe I took some wrong decisions regarding my career and everything. So make sure that you are working on particular thing with proper mindset and with proper decision making. Okay, Saturn will be transiting in your 6th house, which is a good transit, I will say, because normally the transit of Saturn in the 6th house brings success. It gives you hard work, but it gives success with hard work. Okay, so this is a good transit. You can make the most out of it. This is actually a very good transit. It will also give you success in competitive arena. Also, it will give you a victory over your opponents. Okay, so it will help you out to face the challenges in your life. Okay, that way this is going to give you much more better results. So that's it for the Virgo ascendant people. For the Libra ascendant people, on 31st of March 2023, Mercury has come out of its debilitation from your 6th house and it has entered your 7th house and got conjunct with Lagna Lord Venus and Rahu. Now, this particular transit of Mercury, I will say it is a good transit for the Libra ascendant people because, first of all, it is creating a Parivartan Yoga between Mars and Mercury. That is the 7th Lord and the 9th Lord, which is actually a good yoga for the Libra ascendant people happening at this moment of time. This also indicates that there can be some long distance travels, there can be some possibility of new bonding and partnership, be it personal, be it professional. So suppose if you are thinking of any relationship, means marital relationship or something related to that, you may get opportunity or you may get proposals because of the advent of 9th Lord into the 7th house. Another important thing is that you see Saturn is aspecting the 7th house. Okay. And on 22nd of April onwards, Jupiter is making the transit. Jupiter is coming out of your 6th house and Jupiter will be entering your 7th house. Now you see, Saturn is aspecting the 7th house. Jupiter after 22nd of April will enter your 7th house. So basically, Saturn and Jupiter will be energizing your 7th house, and the 9th Lord Mercury is also transiting through the 7th house. So, and your 7th Lord Mars is transiting in the 9th house. So, basically, this is a time when you may get connected with in partnership with new people. Okay, now that can be in the professional level, that can be at the personal level also. Means if you are thinking of a new relationship or marriage or some kind of relationship or something like that, then you may get proposals, you may get connected with in some kind of bonding or relationship, okay, which is actually a good thing. Now if I talk about Mercury here, you see Mercury is also the 12th lord apart from the 9th lord. So you may get connected with some kind of business transaction or trading or partnership with some foreign clients or with some foreign places. Like suppose if you are thinking to grow your business, then I will say during this particular time, if you can collaborate with people of some far away place or some foreign place, with some foreign clients, that will give you much more better results, and that also indicates that some long distance travels can be there, and ultimately that will give you much more better results. This Mercury will improve communication between your among your partner at the personal, at the professional level. This will improve your communication between your business partnership in your financial and trading way. Why I say financial? Because Mercury is doing the Parivartan Yoga with Mars. Now Mars happens to be your second lord also, so at the financial level also this is going to give you much more better results. Okay. Now, if I talk about Venus, which is the Lagna Lord, now you see here Venus at this moment of time is under the impact of Rahu, under the aspect of Saturn. But on 6th of April, Venus is coming out of your 7th house under the which is now at present Venus is afflicted, but Venus will come out of this affliction, will come out of the 7th house and it will enter the 8th house, which is its own sign Taurus. Now, Venus entering the sign of Taurus will bring stability in your life. You see, 8th house is basically the house of suddenness, ups and downs, and Taurus is a very fixed sign. Taurus is a very earthy sign. So here Venus will bring stability in your life. It will bring a flow, a streamlined flow. You will see that things are getting much more normal. You are getting solutions to your problem. You are getting a free mind. All your anxiety, all your depression will be resolved. This will also improve your relationship between you and your partner. Suppose if you are having any kind of joint asset or any contract between you and your partner, all those things will be well handled, well maintained during this particular time. Your bonding with your in-laws will improve. Your bonding with your family members will also improve. You will be able to save and invest your wealth in a much more better manner. Yes, definitely. From the eighth house, Venus is aspecting the second house. So some expenditures related to luxury and comfortable items can be there, because here Venus will try to bring that comforts in your life. So related to that, some expenditures can be there. Okay. Otherwise, I will say this will also improve your health, because Venus happens to be your Lagna lord and your eighth lord also. It will improve your health. Now, let us talk about the influence of Sun and Jupiter. You see, at this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is transiting in the sixth house. Normally, the transit of Sun in the sixth house is considered very good, but it is coming out of your sixth house and it is going to enter your um, seventh house on 14th of April. Now, Sun happens to be your 11th lord. 11th lord means the house of gains, the house of fulfillment of desires. Now 11th lord is also going to transit in your 7th house. That means this also implies that you may get into some kind of partnership or bonding with some person. Okay, so this is also a good transit, I will say. Means if you are thinking of getting into a partnership, then this is a good transit, I will say. Suppose if you are already in some kind of partnership at the personal and at the professional level, or in your married life, then this particular transit of sun has to be taken care of, because at certain moments it can lead to some ego clashes. Okay, so I will say that one basic remedy is that, practical remedy is that, during this particular time, cooperate your partner and don't hesitate to take cooperation from your partner. In that way, you may be able to resolve the problems, and ultimately it will give you much more better results. Since 11th lord will be exalted, so it will bring um, success, gains through your business, trade, and your financial works. Ultimately, it will give you much more better results. On 21st of April, Mercury is turning retrograde. Now, that is a thing you need to be a bit careful, because during that particular time, I will say, try to avoid miscommunication between you and your partner. Okay, your decision making has to be taken care of, and during that particular time, try to take care regarding your health also. Okay, that will give you much more better results. On 22nd of April, the major transit, that is the transit of Jupiter, is going to happen. Jupiter is coming out of its own sign Pisces from 6th house and going to enter your 7th house. Now you see so many planets: Rahu, Mercury, Sun, Jupiter. From 22nd of April onwards, when Jupiter enters the 7th house, for the Libra ascendant people, these four planets, Rahu, Mercury, Sun, Jupiter, these so many energies will be there, and during that particular time, this will be an indicator that you may get connected with some new person. Okay, so suppose if you are running through some favorable dasa, if you are running through some favorable planetary energies from your own birth chart and horoscope, then this particular transit is going to help you out regarding in your bonding and getting some new proposals, or even it may get connected with some marriage also. Okay, or at the professional level also, you may get and collaborate with some business partnership from faraway lands. Okay, in that way also it is going to give you much more better results. Otherwise, I will say, here you see Jupiter happens to be your third and sixth lord. So suppose if you are already having in any kind of partners, be it professional, be it personal, then initially you may face some problems, because Jupiter is the third lord and sixth lord. Means if you already have some kind of partnership, in that particular case, some initial issues may come. Issues means some struggles, some efforts, some extra hard work is needed in order to rectify the things. This Jupiter will bring upon the loopholes, the problems. All of a sudden, it will showcase the problems in front of you, and it will ask you to resolve it. Okay, so in that particular case, you need to be a bit more careful. Now, if I talk about Saturn, then the transit of Saturn in the fifth house is here, I will say, very good, because Saturn is transiting in its own sign, Aquarius. Okay, so it will improve your skill set, it will improve your gains and fulfillment of desires in your life. More you follow your discipline and commitment towards your education, towards your intellectual abilities and creative abilities, more it is going to give you much more better results, because it rules over your fifth house and it is looking onto your 11th house. So this also indicates that you will be also working on multiple job opportunities or work opportunities, because fifth house is eighth from the 10th house. Okay, so in that way, this Saturn is going to give you success and good results. So that's it for the Libra ascendant people. For the Scorpio ascendant people, Mercury is transiting at this moment of time in your 8th house in conjunction with Venus and Rahu. Mercury happens to be your 8th lord and 11th lord. Now, during this particular time, I will say you that you need to be a bit careful regarding your health, specifically with regards to skin related disease and nervous system. These are the two things you need to be very careful of. And during this particular time, I will also say that if you already have, in case of any kind of prevalent health conditions, if you already you are having, then during this particular time you need to be extra careful. Okay, means don't ignore the things, rather just follow the right steps which can ultimately give you much more better results. Okay, now Venus, which is at present transiting in your 6th house, on 6th of April, Venus will come out of your 6th house and it will enter the 7th house. Now, that is a good transit, I will say. On 6th of April, Venus is going to enter your 7th house in the sign of Taurus. It will bring stability, it will bring a good energy with relation to your partnership, your relationship. Now that can be at the professional or personal level. It will improve the health of your spouse, it will improve the health of your partnership. Now suppose if you are associated with any kind of business partnership, you will see, you will get multiple opportunity at the business level. Your collaborations will improve, your communication between you and your partner will improve, and at the personal life also. Suppose if you are associated with anything related to relationship or married life, you will see that it will improve your bonding with your partner. It will also improve your personality, because this Venus will aspect your first house. It will bring some charismatic personality within you. You will be able to follow up your own decision makings in a much more creative manner, in a more beautified manner. Okay. Venus happens to be your 12th lord also, so during this particular time you may get opportunity to expand your business at some foreign place, at some far away place. So by this way, this Venus is going to bring stability and good results in your life. Okay. Now, at this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is transiting in your 5th house. Now see, Sun happens to be your 10th lord transiting in the 5th house. So this also indicates that some kind of new type of job like situation may come in front of you, or you may feel that change of job role all of a sudden may come in front of you. Okay, but Sun is going to change the sign. Sun is going to enter its exaltation sign in your 6th house in the sign of Aries on 14th of April. Now, this transit of Sun in the 6th house, I will say it is a good transit, because normally Sun performs very well in the 6th house and now it is getting exalted, so it will give you good result with respect to your work life, with respect to your professional side of your life, be it business, be it your job. You will see good results out of there. Yes, since 6th house is 12th from the 7th house, so at the business partnership level there can be some kind of classes of opinion. Okay, means suppose if you are associated with some kind of partnership, in that particular case this can lead to some kind of classes. Otherwise it will give you success, means you will see that you will be able to follow up your work and ultimately it is going to give you success. Yes, Sun will be in conjunction with Rahu during this particular time, so at times your ego may come in front of you, which may lead to some kind of classes. So you have to bring a balance between your ego and that intellectual and wisdom abilities. Okay, during that particular thing you need to bring a proper balance. On 21st of April, Mercury is turning retrograde. So during that particular time, I will say essentially you need to be very careful regarding your health, regarding your communication between you and your co-workers, regarding anything related to your job life matters. Okay, means you need to be very careful regarding that, and you also need to be careful regarding your joint assets during that particular time. Okay. And at suppose you are working in a team, you are working in a group, in that regards also you need to be a bit more cautious when Mercury will be retrograde on 21st of April onwards. On 22nd of April, another transit is going to happen, that is the transit of Jupiter, which is going to happen in your 6th house. Jupiter is living its own sign Pisces, your 5th house, and it is going to enter your 6th house on 22nd of April. Now transit of Jupiter in the 6th house, normally it is I will say it is a average transit, not so good, not so bad, means it is a average transit. But here Jupiter essentially will be afflicted. It will be, first of all, it will be combusted, because degree wise it will be very close, closer to Sun. It will be combusted. It will be under the conjunction with Rahu and under the aspect of Saturn. So Jupiter will be afflicted over here. So during this particular time, you may get worried regarding the health of your children. Okay, during this particular time, it also indicates that you may get worried regarding the health of your children, regarding the decision making of your children with regards to family and wealth related matters. Okay. And this also indicates that you have to face challenges with respect to your own skill set, regarding your own intellectual abilities. All of a sudden you may face some kind of challenges regarding your own work ethics, your own work. Okay, means you may feel that I know something, but the challenges which are coming in front of me, that are unknown to me. So some unknown challenges may come in front of you, that can lead to some kind of problem. So this is also a time when you need to keep on learning the things. Okay, means don't get deviated from your path, just keep on learning the things that will give you much more better results. This is becoming more essential because your Lagna Lord Mars is transiting in the 8th house and creating Parivartan Yoga with the 8th Lord Mercury. So certain events may come in front of you all of a sudden. Means you will feel that at the work level, at the professional level, things are getting uncertain. All of a sudden some new job role is coming in front of you and you have to follow it up. This kind of things can be there in the month of April. So you need to be prepared for it, and I will say take care regarding your health, because a healthy body and healthy mind can only face the challenges and do the hard work and get the success through it. Okay, so since Mars is a fiery planet transiting in the 8th house, so at times it can lead to some kind of anxiety also regarding your work. Now since Mars is transiting through the 8th house, so you may get some, all of a sudden, some gain secretly. Okay, that is also a possibility, that will give you some financial gains. Okay, and try to avoid some unnecessary expenditures during this particular time. That is what I will say for the Scorpio ascendant people. And Saturn is transiting in your 4th house, so this is a time when you need to take extra responsibility regarding your home, domestic happiness and domestic peace is required. Howsoever small the thing is, don't ignore it. If it is associated with your home and domestic happiness, try to follow it up, try to resolve it. That will give you much more better results. Saturn will aspect your 10th house, so that also indicates that some hard work and responsibility is coming. So more you follow it, more it is going to give you better results with time. Okay, so that's it for the Scorpio ascendant people. For the Sagittarius ascendant people, Mercury has entered your 5th house on 31st of March 2023 and got conjunct with Rahu and Venus. Mercury and Mars is in Parivartan Yoga. Basically, this Parivartan Yoga is between your 5th house and 7th house. So this indicates that if you are self-employed, if you are working on your own, then this particular Parivartan Yoga of Mars and Mercury is going to benefit you, is going to give you good results. Or suppose if you are thinking to start something of your own, in that case also, this transit of Mars and Mercury is going to give you very good results. This exchange between the 7th and 5th Lord also indicates that you may get into some kind of love relationship or love and romantic relationship. Mercury being the 10th Lord transiting in the 5th house. Now, this indicates that suppose if you are working somewhere, then you may consider to change the job or change your work profile. Now, this will be more because of the influence of Rahu over there. You may get distracted by certain things, and that can lead you to change your decision regarding your work and work related things. Okay, you may think about new opportunities all of a sudden. You may start thinking innovatively. Now, at this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is transiting in the 4th house. Now, Sun and Jupiter is looking onto your 10th house of work and profession. That is a good thing. That is actually maintaining or trying to maintain the work ethics and the work like things at your job and career. Okay, it is actually trying to balance the things. But very soon, on 14th of April, Sun will change the sign. Sun will come onto your 5th house and get exalted. Sun happens to be your 9th Lord. Now, 9th Lord rules over Dharma. It will enter your 5th house. Now, 5th house is basically the house of our Purva Punya, the things which gives us joy and pleasure, happiness basically, peace of mind. 5th house also deals with our mentality, our management and planning. So what will happen during this particular time, this conjunction of Sun, Mercury and Rahu all of a sudden can directly look into your belief system. You may directly challenge or you may get challenged with respect to your belief system, specifically with regards to your work and work ethics. Suppose you are working somewhere, then so this can actually make you take decisions regarding change of job or taking up new role all of a sudden. So during this particular time, I will say you that one thing I will advise you is that don't force your belief system on others, or don't force your belief system in your self expression, because on 21st of April Mercury will be retrograde, and during that particular time you need to be very careful regarding your relationships, regarding your job ethics, your job and business profile and everything, because any quick decision making out of impulsion and out of ego can lead you to some kind of problems. Because you see, apart from the first house, 5th house is also deals with ego or mentality basically. Okay, so Sun is a very fiery planet, so it can at times boost your ego in the presence of Rahu, and you may take some hot headed decisions which may not be good for you. Okay, on the brighter side, if you can channelize your energy properly and if you take nice decisions, proper decisions, then you will see that these planets will also impact your 11th house, just opposite to the 5th house. And more specifically, on 22nd of April, Jupiter is making the transit. Jupiter is coming onto your 5th house. Now, Jupiter happens to be your Lagna Lord, Jupiter happens to be your 4th Lord. So, Lagna Lord getting conjunct with Rahu along with exalted Sun and Mercury, this also indicates that it can actually make you or make you bound to take some decisions which can be something differently taken, or can be at times very innovative, but I will say it can be something very different which normally you may not take, but all of a sudden situations can be as such that you take some decisions which you later on you may feel that you shouldn't have taken. Now you see, your Lagna Lord Jupiter and your 7th Lord Mercury all will be in conjunction in the 5th house. So this is also a time you need to be very careful regarding your partnership. Suppose if you are in any kind of business or personal relationship or partnership, then you need to be also very careful regarding how you are maintaining your partnership and your bonding with your partner at the professional level, also at the personal level also. That will give you much more better results, because don't take any sudden decisions which may create problems later on. Okay, these are the things you need to be very careful, because given into the fact that Mars is a very fiery planet transiting in the 7th house. Now Mars does not like negotiation. Mars does not like following the both way opinions. It is just like it's my way or highway. Okay, so at times you may give more importance to yourself, because out of that ego boost you can give more importance to yourself, and that can lead to create some rifts between you and your partner. Okay, because if you are working alone, if you are self-employed, if you are means doing everything of your own, then this particular transit is going to give you good results. But suppose if you are already in some kind of partnership, then you need to be very careful, because it is just like that. It is a time frame when it will lead to self development or giving good results to yourself, but it can create problems in the partnership. Now you see, in the 5th house you have Rahu, Sun, Mercury and Jupiter after the 22nd of April, and you see Sun, Mercury and Jupiter will be aspecting your 11th house. So if you are channelizing your energy properly, then that can also give you good results. But since 11th house is also the house of your social network circle, and Mercury will be retrograde during that particular time, so you need to be very careful regarding your communication with respect to your relationships, with respect to your business contracts, your trade and your job, any matter related to your co-workers and colleagues and your authorities has to be taken care of during this particular time. Venus at present is transiting in the 5th house in the sign of Aries, but on 6th of April, Venus will leave the sign. Venus will come onto the sign of Taurus in your 6th house, and Taurus is a very stable sign basically. So the moment Venus enters your 6th house, it will bring stability, and it will give you that realistic approach towards how to follow your hard work, how to take responsibilities regarding the day-to-day schedules and responsibilities, and that will give you much more better results. In that way, this Venus will give you good results. It will also improve the communication between you and your co-workers and colleagues, which is actually a good thing, because looking into the fact that your 10th lord Mercury will be afflicted in the 5th house. Okay, so the transit of Venus in the 6th house will try to balance the things. Okay, so it is, I will say, it is a blessing in disguise, I will say basically. Now you see, Saturn is transiting in your 3rd house at this moment of time. Now transit of Saturn in the 3rd house is normally considered very good, because it gives a very calculated approach to efforts and actions. Normally it allows you to take up the hard work, efforts, and give you success with time. So I will say you that this is a very good transit. Suppose if you are thinking to start something of your own, then again this transit of Saturn is going to give you much more better results. So make the most out of it. So that's it for the Sagittarius ascendant people. For the Capricorn ascendant people, Mercury is transiting in your 4th house in conjunction with Venus and Rahu at this moment. Mercury happens to be your 6th lord and 9th lord, and Mercury is also is in Parivartan Yoga with Mars. Mars is your 4th lord transiting in your 6th house at this moment. So basically this is the Parivartan Yoga between the 4th house and 6th house. So during this particular time, I will say you that more essentially you should be very careful regarding the health of your mother. Take care regarding the health of your mother. This is the first thing. Secondly, any matter related to your home or domestic happiness, or at the domestic front, you need to be very cautious and very careful. If anything is coming up in front of you, which you should take care, then you should not ignore it, and you should work on it then and there. That will give you much more better results. Okay, because why I say it, because on 21st of April Mercury will be retrograde. Now Mercury happens to be your sixth lord. Okay, so Mercury will be retrograde in your fourth house itself, and Mercury will be afflicted. You see, will be in conjunction with Rahu. It will be under the aspect of Saturn. So it is, and Saturn is the Lagna lord itself. So basically, here Saturn will ask you to look into the matters very cautiously, very logically, and bring the good results out of it. Now, if I talk about only the transit of Mercury in the fourth house, then I will say it is a very good transit, because Mercury happens to be your ninth lord transiting in the fourth house. It will also bring fortunes. If you take care of the things very cautiously, then it will also bring good results, because problems will be there, and as with that, solutions will also be there. So you have to just think very logically, intellectually, and that will give you much more better results. Now you see, Mercury will be here in conjunction with Rahu, and after 14th of April, Sun will join the conjunction. At present, Sun is in conjunction with Jupiter in the third house. Normally, the transit of Sun in the third house is very good. The transit of Sun in the third house normally leads to success in any kind of work. It increases our focus and concentration in our any efforts and actions. Okay, it gives us very good results. But very soon, Sun will also enter your fourth house on 14th of April, and Sun happens to be your eighth lord. Okay, so this also indicates that certain matters related to your home needs to be corrected, needs to be taken care of, because more you take care regarding those things, it will give you much more better results. Sun will be aspecting your 10th house. Not Sun is the 8th lord. 8th lord transiting the 10th house also indicates that there can be some ups and downs related to your job or job like responsibilities. Certain matters may come up in front of you, which can be the reason of anxiety and problems and frustrations with respect to your job or business, whatever work you are doing. Okay, so you may also think of changing up your job profile during this particular time, because of the problems which are coming in front of you, depending upon the dasas in your horoscope. On 21st of April, Mercury will be retrograde, and on 22nd of April, Jupiter will make the transit. Jupiter will leave your third house and it will enter your fourth house. Now, transit of Jupiter in the fourth house, normally I will say that it indicates good thing. Transit of Jupiter in the fourth house, normally it brings happiness. Okay, but here Jupiter's lordship has to be checked. Jupiter is the lord of your third house and your 12th house. So this also indicates that there can be some possible relocation or change of residence or change of place with respect to your job or with respect to your job like responsibilities, because Mercury rules your sixth house. Okay, and your fourth lord Mars is transiting in the sixth house. So due to some domestic problems or something related to that, there can be some kind of change of residence, or due to your job, all of a sudden you may get some job like responsibilities, due to which you have to relocate from one place to another. This kind of things can be seen at this particular moment of time. It will depend, it will vary from people to people depending upon their dasas. Okay, now at this moment of time, one good thing is that Venus is transiting through your fourth house, but very soon on 6th of April, Venus will change the sign. Venus will come onto your fifth house. Now, Venus is the fifth lord itself. Now, this transit of Venus is like a blessing for you, because fourth house is the house of happiness, and fifth house is basically the house of peace of mind, our mentality, the things uh, which are a source of pleasure and joy for us. That is the fifth house basically. So here Venus will try to balance the things. It will give you some stability. Although your 8th lord will be transiting, your 8th lord sun will be transiting in your 4th house, so certain ups and downs can be there all of a sudden, but Venus will try to bring some stability within your heart, within your mind. Means you will get solutions through it. This Venus will also allow you to work on your creativity, your creative talents and skill set, and ultimately it will give you good results for it, because Venus happens to be your 10th lord also. Now you see, Venus happens to be your 10th lord and 5th lord. 10th lord transiting through the 5th house. This also indicates that you may get some good opportunity to change your job. Like suppose if you are getting any problems, because from the 4th house these planets will be aspecting your 10th house, so some issues are seen at your job level. So you may get opportunities after 6th of April when Venus enters your 5th house. This will be a good time to spend with your children. It will be a good transit for your children also, the transit of Venus. Okay. Now, if I talk about Mars, then the transit of Mars in the 6th house indicates that you will get success in your hard work. You will face hard work, you will face the responsibility, but you will also get success. You will face the challenges, but ultimately you will be able to overcome it. Because of this transit of Mars in the 6th house, you will be able to overcome your opponents basically. Okay, so challenges will be there, but ultimately you will get the success. If I talk about Saturn, then Saturn is the Lagna lot for you, for the Capricorn ascendant people, and it is transiting in the 2nd house. So this is a time when you will be actually completely focused regarding your financial goals, regarding your family matters, and it will give you that financial independence basically, to think about to grow your finances, your wealth management in a proper manner. This Saturn is going to give you good results in all this matter. Okay, so that's it for the Capricorn ascendant people. For the Aquarius ascendant people, Mercury has entered your 3rd house and got conjunct with Rahu and Venus on 31st of March 2023, and Mercury is in Parivartan Yoga with Mars. Mars is your 3rd lord and transiting in the 5th house, and Mercury is your 5th lord transiting in the 3rd house. This particular Parivartan Yoga between Mars and Mercury will give you extra benefits. Suppose if you are associated with any kind of work related to communication, reading, writing, or social media, mass media, theater, journalism, cinema, or even adventure and sports, because since it is the planet Mars under the consideration, it can be adventure and sports also, athletics, anything which we do with your hands like architecture, sculpturing, painting. In all these works you will be benefited during this particular time, because it will give you that extra energy and efforts to work on those things. You will be able to put your thoughts into realities, and that will be actually evident from your self expression. That will, by that way, this particular Parivartan Yoga between Mars and Mercury is going to give you very good results. Now you see, Mercury happens to be your 5th lord. Now 5th lord is in 3rd house and 3rd lord is in 5th house. Now you see, 3rd house is 6th from the 10th house, 5th house is 8th from the 10th house. So during this particular time, I will say you may get some job role which you may not like, or you may get some struggles, or you have to put some extra efforts in your job role. Or suppose if you are thinking of finding a new job opportunity, you may get job opportunity, but you may not like the job role initially, because 3rd house and 5th house is basically 6th and 8th respectively from the 10th house. So this can also imply some problems related to your job like situations. Okay, now if I specifically talk about here the conjunction of Mercury Rahu, then here I will say you that suppose if you are associated with any kind of work related to advertising, finance, or sales, then this particular transit of Mercury along with Rahu in the third house will give you much more better results. Specifically with relation to communication and journalism, it will give you very good results. But on 21st of April 2023, Mercury is turning retrograde. So during that particular time, you need to be very careful regarding what you say and what you share with others. More specific to social networking and social media, because Mercury will be retrograde during that particular time. So you need to be very careful regarding what you are sharing, how you are communicating, what you are saying. Okay. At this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is transiting in your second house. Now you see, Sun happens to be your seventh lord, transiting in the second house. So here it can lead to some kind of impulsive and all of a sudden spending, expenditures out of ego. Okay, this kind of things can be there. But very soon, Sun is changing the sign. Sun will be changing the sign on 14th of April. It will enter your third house and get exalted. Now, exalted Sun in the third house normally gives success. Whatever work you do, you will be completely focused, you will be completely concentrated in your work and effort. It will give you success. It will give you good results. Some short travels can be possible during this particular time, and it will give you good results. Another important thing here is that Sun happens to be your seventh lord, transiting in the third house after 14th of April. So, this also means that you have to put some extra effort in order to bring peace and happiness in your relationship or partnership. Now, that can be business partnership, that can be personal partnership, relationship. Okay. These are the two things you need to be very careful of. Now, since Sun will be in conjunction with Mercury and Rahu, here there can be at times certain miscommunications may occur between you and your partner. So I will say that it is possible that due to this miscommunication, it can lead to some kind of disputes or clashes or difference of opinion. So I will advise you that if you want to convey something to your partner, you have to be very sure short, very clear in your thoughts, and then you must convey it to your partner. In that case, there will be a proper uh, conversation between you and the other person that will give you good results. Secondly, on 22nd of April, Jupiter is changing the sign. Jupiter is at present transiting through your second house, which is a good transit, I will say. But on 22nd of April, it is changing the sign. It is coming on to your third house. It will be in conjunction with Rahu. It will be combusted because of the close vicinity with Sun. And during that particular time, Mercury will be retrograde. So during this process, what it indicates is that you will have to put some extra effort in order to have gains in your life. During this particular time, also make sure that your talent, your benevolence should not be misused. If you are getting some work, if you are getting some project, then make sure that you are working on the right things. Don't waste your time or energy or your intelligence and wisdom on wrong things. Don't get misused because of this transit of Jupiter. I'm especially because of that presence of Rahu I'm talking about. Although your Lagna Lord Saturn will be transiting in the first house, it will aspect the third house. So inherently you will be knowing that maybe the things which you are doing are not meant to be done. So that can lead to more frustration and anxiety. So suppose if you are thinking that these are the things which are not meant to be done, you can directly convey it that, or you should not take that job, you should not take that work. That will give you good results, because once you take the job, you take the project, and if you are unable to complete it, that may lead to problems. Okay, so if the things are not meant to be done for you, by you, don't take it. This is the most practical remedy I will give you with this transit of Jupiter and this Rahu and all these things. Okay, and more specifically, you see Jupiter happens to be your 11th lord, so social network connections, and Mercury will be retrograde in your third house. If you are connecting with your network circle, so you have to be very careful regarding what you are speaking, with whom you are speaking, what you are saying. um, Means there can be a chance of miscommunication, there can be a chance that you may say something, the other person may interpret it in some different manner, and that can create more problems. Okay, so you have to be very careful during this particular time. Saturn will be aspecting your seventh house, so this is asking for more responsibility and commitment towards your relationships and partnerships. So you will be able to follow it up. It will take some time. You may at times feel that more responsibilities are coming on your head, but the more you follow it with discipline and responsibility, with proper commitment, that will be good for you. Venus will be changing the sign on 6th of April 2023. It will come out from your third house and it will enter your fourth house. Now, in your fourth house, you have the sign of Taurus. Now, since it is a earthy sign, it is a fixed sign. So here, Venus will try to bring stability in terms of your domestic matters, in terms of your family matters and your home environment. It will try to bring happiness, luxury and comforts in your life, and it will also be beneficial with regards to your job. Although there will be so many things, so many planetary energies impacting your third house, and other planets with their lordship of other houses will be there in your third house, but still I will say that this transit of Venus will be a very good transit for you, because it will be impacting directly your happiness, your mental peace and mental security, because it will energize your fourth house, the fourth house of happiness. Ultimately it will bring happiness at your home environment. It will improve the health of your mother. It will improve the communication and bonding between you and your family members, your near and dear ones, and your mother. Okay, so ultimately it will give you good results in that way. So you can utilize this transit of Venus in most efficient way. So that's it for the month of April 2023 for the Aquarius ascendant people. For the Pisces ascendant people, Mercury has entered your second house and got conjunct with Rahu and Venus on 31st of March 2023. So this particular transit of Mercury here, the first thing here I will say that there has to be a proper set of communication between you and your partner. This is the most important thing, because of the presence of Rahu over there. There can be a possibility of significant miscommunication between you and your partner. Now that can be at the professional level, that can be at the personal level. So these are the things you need to be very careful. Secondly, because of this influence of Rahu, and second house happens to be the house of family and wealth, you have to be also very careful regarding your expenditures and how you are communicating or dealing with your family matters or family members, your near and dear ones. All of a sudden don't go for any kind of expenditures, or don't make all of a sudden any investment plans, a major investment plans that can lead to some kind of problems. Okay, so these are the two things which I will essentially say you. One more thing here is that Mars and Mercury are in Parivartan Yoga, means Mars rules your second house, Mercury rules your fourth house. So basically, the second house and the fourth house is getting Parivartan Yoga. So this is an indication that suppose if you are thinking to work on something related to landed properties, or you are thinking to purchase a landed properties, then this is a time when you may get success. Or suppose if you are working in a construction business, or you are working in real estate business, or something related to property business, then you are going to get good results during this particular transit of Mercury and Mars. Only one thing is that when you are spending your money during that particular time, you should be very careful, look into the matters, then only do the expenditures. Okay, and unnecessary spending should be stopped or should be suspended during this particular time or postponed. Okay. Now you see, Mars will be impacting your fourth house, your seventh house, your 10th house. Since it is transiting in the fourth house, so during this particular time, at your home level, at your family level, there can be some anxiety, there can be some problems or disputes all of a sudden coming in front of you. So you need to be very careful regarding that. Specifically, how you are communicating with your family members has to be given extra importance. So try to channelize your energy in some household work. More you are utilizing your energy, your time in a right manner, more your Martian energies will be properly utilized, and that will give you good results in the upcoming days and months. Mars will also impact your 10th house and 7th house, so it will also create some kind of rifts and problems with respect to your partnership and at the professional arena also. So I will say that try to give importance to the opinion of your other person, means in your respect to the partnership, try to give equal importance to your partner also. And at the work level, try to avoid that extra competitive spirit, because this Mars will make you like too much competitive, and that can lead you to some problems. Okay, because you may feel that on certain matters you are not getting along properly with your work ethics or with your work related rules and regulations, because Mars rules your ninth house, means your belief system, your work, your ethics. Okay, so your belief system may get into opposition or clash with your work arena, with your superiors or authorities. So that can be issue regarding this particular time, so you need to be very careful regarding that. Okay, at this moment of time, Sun and Jupiter is transiting in your first house. Now you see, normally the transit of Sun and Jupiter in the first house, normally it gives confidence, wisdom, intellectual and wisdom abilities. Okay, it is a good transit, I will say. But on 14th of April, Sun is changing the sign. On 14th of April, Sun is coming onto your second house, and it will directly get conjunct with Rahu and Mercury. Okay, so during that particular time, you need to be very careful regarding your expenditures and family like matters, because Sun happens to be your sixth lord. So any matter related to your family or family members or wealth or finances may all of a sudden come in front of you, and that can lead to some kind of problem. So I will say that try to maintain these particular things in a more proper manner. Okay, that will give you much more better results. Although Sun will be exalted, but this can also lead to some ego problems, and out of that ego you may do some expenditures, out of ego that you say something to someone which normally you should not say. Okay, because that can lead to some problems. Okay, now Jupiter will change the sign on 22nd of April. Jupiter is changing the sign on 22nd of April. It is coming onto your second house in the sign of Aries and getting conjunct with Rahu, Mercury and Sun. And on 21st of April, Mercury is turning retrograde. Now these are the things which you need to be very careful. Mercury happens to be your 7th lord, Jupiter happens to be your Lagna lord. Mercury is retrograde after 21st of April, and on 22nd of April, Jupiter will be in conjunction with Mercury, Rahu and Sun. Now Sun is the 6th lord. So this can also create rifts between you and your partner. Here I am talking more specifically regarding the personal partnership, means your relationship, your marital relationship, or even at the family level also there can be some disputes or even fights. So try to avoid it, try to avoid the miscommunications, I will say. These are the things you need to be very careful during this particular time. Although Saturn will be transiting in the 12th house, the aspect of Saturn will fall on your second house. Saturn's aspect will try to limit it, try to restrict it. So Saturn's aspect will be like a blessing in disguise over here. But still, I will say that Sun and Jupiter will be afflicted. So try to bring a proper balance between your family members, between you and your partner, and how you manage your wealth. That will actually determine that how much good results you are going to get. Here you see that Venus will be coming out of your second house and it will enter your third house on 6th of April 2023. Now, this particular transit of Venus in your third house is a very good transit, I will say, because so many things are happening in your second house with so many planets with their lordship and planetary energies happening in your second house. So, Venus, when it will transit into the sign of Taurus in your third house, it will bring a stability, a groundedness, more practical approach towards your efforts, towards your actions. Suppose if you are working on certain things, you are starting a new project, or if you are planning to start something new, it will bring some regularity within it. It will bring some more practical oriented approach. Ultimately, it will improve your communication skills. So it will basically improve your social communications. Although Mercury will be retrograde later this month after 21st of April, and in the presence of Rahu under the aspect of Saturn, but still I will say that this particular transit of Venus in the third house will improve your communication. It will be like there can be a possibility some short travels will be there, okay, and that will be some pleasurable travels for you basically, for the Pisces ascendant people. Yes, Venus is your eighth lord, so during that particular time there can be some issues with your people with daily contact on certain matters. There can be some misunderstandings, because at that particular time later this month Mercury will also be retrograde, but since Venus will be transiting in its own sign, so ultimately at the end of the day it will bring good results for you. I will say it is a very good transit to look upon amidst so many planetary energies happening in your second house. Okay, so make the most out of it. So that's it from my side. Next time when I come back, I will be coming back with some another interesting video. So stay tuned, and I'm signing off for today. Thank you. Bye bye.